Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Mary, and together we own Natural Plus Nursery in Clear Lake, Iowa.
We are your favorite backyard nursery, serving North Iowa since 1978. We sell trees, shrubs, and perennials and love sharing our seasonal family business with our kids and you.
Here you'll learn about the plants you buy from us, how to care for them, and never before told behind the scenes look at our lives as nursery owners. This is the dirt from Natural Plus. Here we grow. Welcome back to another episode of The Dirt from Natural Plus Nursery. I'm Mary Hopper, and today I want to talk about open house. This year, 2026, we brought back our well-loved, much anticipated open house sale. And instead of just doing a sale this year, we created an event, which was incredible. So, a little behind the scenes, a little look back on the nursery over the years. When we bought the nursery in 2013, my in-laws, Dave and Linda Hopper, were running the nursery, and every year would have a huge open house sale. It would normally run over the first 2 weekends in May. So it would go from a Friday over a weekend all through the next week and then over the following weekend. It was a huge sale, brought a lot of people into the nursery, and what they always offered was 20% off one item and 10% off of everything else. And it was a huge sale for the business, but it also was really great opportunity for our customers to come in and get their plants for the spring that they were looking to install in their yard. It was just such a great opportunity. And then COVID hit in 2020. COVID changed the open house sale for us. And we were honestly thinking about doing something different anyways, but COVID really sealed the deal for us. And not so much in not wanting a bunch of people here at one time, while that was a piece of why we stopped doing the open house sale. The other factor was we couldn't get product. It became difficult to stock the most loved plants. And part of that was the production of these plants was shut down or slowed because they couldn't get workers from Mexico into the fields to they usually would bring workers from Mexico into these fields to get the plants going, and that production had stopped. So there was a gap in our overall in the nursery industry. There were not enough plants for the needs of customers. And then we also saw a huge uptick of people working in their yards because they couldn't go and do the social things that they normally do. They weren't spending weekends at the ball fields. They weren't going, taking these big vacations and spending their money on that. And the government gave everyone money as well. So people had extra money burning a hole in their pockets and were coming to garden centers and nurseries and buying things for their yards because they had to stay home and work on their yards. There was nothing really else to do but be home. So all of these factors played into why we paused. We paused it. We stopped doing it. We didn't know if we would bring it back. We stopped doing the open house sale in 2020. And 6 years later, we brought it back, and we brought it back differently. We brought it back our way. We kept some things the same, but when I was thinking about what I wanted the open house to feel like, I really wanted it to be an event. I wanted it to be a destination, something that felt really fun to be a part of, to come enjoy. I wanted it something to be something for our community. And I also knew that I wanted to bring in other small businesses that are doing amazing things in our community and have product that people need to know about and people need to have access to. So the first thing I did was I reached out to Amelia at Livonia's Coffee, and she has a coffee trolley. And it was an immediate yes. She was like, "We're in, we'll be there." So knowing that we would have a coffee trolley out here, set the stage, set the tone for this morning, this event that I was thinking about in our head. And then I thought, wouldn't it be fun to invite just a few vendors, a few other small businesses to share their products with the people that come out for the nursery? So we did invite four other businesses. We invited Vintage Apron Bakery, and she came with the most delicious cookies. I had people texting me and raving about these cookies. And we also had Sugar Moon Farm, who is our neighbor, and she has syrups and honey and hot sauces and canned goods and all things that she makes on her farm. We also had Mossy Cup Farms available, and they make skincare. They like products for your skin. They also sell meats and eggs and just so many good things. Spices. She makes all her own spices. Just incredible products. And the last business we had was She Blooms Flower Farm, where she brought tulips. It was so amazing to see people coming to the nursery, grabbing a cup of coffee on a Saturday morning, strolling through the plants, grabbing some tulips, grabbing some syrup to have later, getting some soaps and eggs and whatever it is they needed for a really great weekend and week ahead. And it was an incredible event. We had so many people come. I was working the register. I was checking people out, and I did not get a break from 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. It was such a success. So many people through the doors. If you came to the open house, thank you. Thank you so much for supporting our business and the other businesses that were at the open house. We could not do this without you, and we wouldn't want to do it without you. So thank you for coming and showing your support for local, because yeah, like I said, we can't do this without you. So what an event. I cannot wait for next year. I'm already planning next year. Though when we started setting up for this open house event, I thought, live music would have been pretty great. So next year, I'm going to look into bringing a guitar player in and really continuing to expand on that feeling of creating an event, creating a space for people to come to enjoy their Saturday morning, to enjoy the plants that we have for sale, to enjoy the nursery. It's so peaceful and nice out here and beautiful. And I also thought it would be really fun to share in this episode some of the top selling items for our open house. And a few of those things, this is not surprising if you know anything, if you've been out here or know anything about Natural Plus or what we sell here. If you're looking for trees, the Autumn Blaze Maple is the tree that sells the most. It is our top selling product. And over open house, again, it was our our top selling product. The other thing that we sold a lot of over open house, which I didn't realize we had, was mulch. A lot of mulch was sold. And we sell mulch, we sell bulk mulch. We don't sell it in bags, we sell it bulk. And it's the white cedar mulch. It's actually a red color and smells really good. So we had a lot, and that's the time of year that a lot of people are getting mulch because they're refreshing up their beds and their landscaping. The other top seller was the Minnesota strain Redbud, which also doesn't surprise me because they were probably about to bloom or in bloom at that time. And their blooms are a bright purple bloom, and they bloom all along the branch of the tree, and they come in a single stem, so a one stem, or they come in multi-stem where they have two or three stems coming up that looks more like a bigger shrub. But the redbud is so unique. The color of the blooms is very unique, very bright and vibrant. and the buds come on before the leaves. So the tree will bloom, and then after the bloom, the foliage will come on to the tree. So that was one of our top selling. Another top seller was the Brandywine Maple tree, which does not surprise me either. People love maple trees. It is a smaller maple tree, which is really desirable for people that live in town and maybe don't have the space that you have in the country or on a bigger acreage. So the Brandywine is a nice option for people with a limited space, but still want that fall color and want to plant a shade tree. And then the last top seller, this was also really interesting to see, was the elm tree, the Prairie Expedition Elm. And that has been one of the more popular trees, and there are several people that are a little hesitant to plant elm trees after the Dutch elm disease came through in the 1980s. But these varieties of elm trees have been tested and created for disease resistant. So they will not get the Dutch elm disease. And actually, an elm tree is a really beautiful shade tree to plant. It grows fast and it will provide you beautiful shade that you're looking for in your yard. It was so fun. Open house was incredible. Many people came in, bought lots of perennials, shrubs. As I was checking people out, one of the top perennials that I saw go out the door was the pincushion perennial, and it has a little purple flower at the top that it was blooming at the time and people loved it. So that was really fun as I was checking people out to see what people were drawn to and what they left with. So, open house was a huge success, and thank you so much for coming. We really enjoyed it. Thank you to the businesses that partnered with us, that showed up, and also spread the word about the event that we created. I am excited to host more events at Natural Plus. Cannot wait for next year's open house. There will be an open house. And the sale that we did this year, we brought back the old sale that we used to do. We did 20% off one item, so the most expensive item, and then 10% off of everything else. And that's just our way of giving back to our customers, giving back to you, the people that support our business. So we really appreciate you, and we appreciate you coming out for open house. And if you didn't make it last year, we will see you at open house next year. You can always subscribe to our email newsletter. I email every Thursday, and I show up in your inbox with plant tips and highlights, the things that we are loving, the things in the nursery that are going to do well in your yard. And so go ahead and subscribe to the email newsletter to find out when the next event at the nursery will be. And thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Thanks for listening to The Dirt from Natural Plus Nursery. If you dug this episode, subscribe to our newsletter so you never miss a tip, sale, or a behind-the-scenes look at our nursery business. Happy planting!